Make sure it's on. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, so this is an interesting video for me because it's a story that I've never really told in its entirety, especially like this. There's a movie called Capturing the Friedmans. It's about something that happened in Great Neck, Long Island. It was a father and son and supposedly a few other people that were, let's just say, violating people underage at their home with piano classes and other things like that. It was disgusting. And I lived there. I lived in Great Neck. And I was present for the aftermath, you could say, of these events. So I want to go back, and I have firsthand information that no one has. In fact, I'm surprised that the man who made this movie, Capturing the Friedmans, did not search me out and find me. Because I would have given him some information that, again, no one has. So what happened? Well, let me backtrack a little bit. When I was in 8th grade, I was friends with a bunch of these guys. We played in bands together, right? Guys in my, I'm not going to mention names, guys in my grade, okay? And who was not by the way, it was not the Friedman, no Friedmans, let's just say that. The only name I'm going to mention is the Friedmans, okay? I don't even want to mention other names, just the Friedmans, okay? I almost said it, but it doesn't make any difference. So you can look it up, it's all online. I'm not giving away anything. In 8th grade, that was in junior high, I played in a band. And the band was, we had 2 drummers, and the drummer wanted to be the drummer, not the singer, so they kicked me out, which was fair. And then in 9th grade, I was kind of on my own, playing with seniors, actually, gigging and doing incredible stuff. I was a pretty good drummer in 9th grade. Those guys, though, my band members, the ones that I played in 8th grade with, went off and started doing a lot of drugs, okay? And I did not do any drugs. They were smoking a lot of pot and whatever else they were doing, tripping out, all kinds of stuff, right? I was not interested in that. I did not hang out with them at all, did not really associate with them. I was playing with other musicians, and that was my real connection to them, was the music. So at some point, I think it was probably in maybe 10th grade, this whole thing went down, and the father and son were arrested, okay? Maybe in 11th grade. Regardless, because my story picks up in the 12th grade, like right around prom time. But before that, let's just say before that, it all went down and they busted the father and the son. And they seem to have pretty strong evidence about that. Well, flash to prom, and some really weird things. We all took limos. We were in Great Neck, Long Island, wealthy town. We all took limousines to like the Plaza Hotel in New York. It's ridiculous for kids to have. Anyway, we went there, and if I remember correctly, I was in a different limo, but those guys, okay, let's back up. 12th grade, I started playing with those guys again, okay? My senior year, I started connecting with those musicians again, and we had an incredible band. Incredible. We were really, really good. We were playing Steely Dan and stuff. So senior year, I was back with these guys hanging out and smoking pot, to be honest. Then their limousine driver on the prom was, they said he was like almost like undercover. It was weird. They mentioned something like undercover, or it was just this weird thing that they mentioned. I didn't really think much of it. Oh shoot, I got to backtrack again. I told you this would be a little bit sloppy. Before that, maybe a month or so before that, my band was rehearsing upstairs in my house. We were done, and the band was going out. The 3 guys in my band were all leaving to go to their cars. Call them 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 went to their cars. A van pulls up and, oh no, this is not it, shit. They go to their cars and two plainclothes cops walk up to my door. My mother thinks it's something to do with me and marijuana, so she freaks out like, oh my God. And they're like immediately, they know everything, oddly enough. They were like, oh no, it's okay. We just want to talk to you about the Friedman case. Now I actually said, oh, wait a second. I don't really know him, but my friends there knew him. Because the number one friend was hanging out with that guy. A lot over the last couple of years from what I knew until he went to jail. You're following me here? So now I bring my friends back in, and it's me, my mother, my stepdad, 2 officers, and then my 3 friends who are sunken into the couch. I got to be honest, they did not look well. In retrospect, they did not look well. They looked somehow guilty. Now, these cops went into specific detail, very gross detail about what happened to these children. Basically, I know they were trying to get a rise. They were trying to see if anyone was you know. And you could see the honest reaction again from my mother, my father, my stepdad, and me. Honest reaction. Those guys looked a little bit weird. I have to be honest, a little bit weird. So that was it. They left, and everyone left. Now, the day after prom, they show up. We're all going to hang out and smoke. My parents are away, whatever, and we're going to hang out. And as they show up, a truck comes by, a plainclothes vehicle comes by, and takes number 1. And then number 2 is screaming, they just took him for child, right? They just screamed that. And I'm like, what? Like, what? So they both went their way, and I started to freak out because if he was innocent in my mind, I thought he was innocent, that means I also would be approached. Like, that was my thinking. These guys have to be innocent because my brain couldn't fathom that they were guilty. So my brain was like, I'm going to get in trouble too because, you know what I mean? Like, they're getting, like, right? This was how my brain worked. Remember, I'm 17 years old and I'm just dealing with this stuff in the moment. So they get taken. Number 2 family is wealthy with lawyers. He's set. Number 3 flies to a different country. He's set, wealthy as well. But number 1 gets detained at the police department for 10 hours without ever reading him his rights, supposedly. He could have left anytime he wanted to. He didn't know. They manipulated things. They really got him. They really went after him, from what I heard. They were like mean to him. You know what I mean? Like really going after what you do to someone who might be accused of that. They really laid into him. And then basically things kind of went crazy, right? You know, because the town just kind of went nuts. And I just kind of took a step back, right? Now, the next and last story of this was now, number 1 was not in jail. Jesse was. Number 2 and 3 were gone. Number 1 was at home, and we were loading, I think, out for a gig or loading in for a gig. I think we were loading in for a gig. I think it was after we just did a gig outside the band. We were loading back into number 1's house. And suddenly 3 cars with 4 in each, 12 cops, I think, show up at his door. And he goes, oh shit, they're here. And he goes into his apartment, into his house. His mother's not there, his grandma's there. The cops say, do you know where number 1 is? I was like, yeah, he's inside. They're like, we need to speak to him. And I went up to one of the agents, you know, these are sex crimes units agents, and I went up to him and I was like, I can't believe I did this. I was like, you're wrong. You're accusing someone. He didn't do anything. And the agent said to me, have you been with him every day, 24 hours a day for the last 3 years? I said, no. He says, well, get out of my way, otherwise I'm going to arrest you. I said, okay. So I went in the house, and Ross was on the phone with number 1 was on the phone with his mom. It's okay if I say his name. Number 1 was on the phone with his mom, and the cops go to the back door. And he goes to the back door and they say, we just want to talk to you. Just come out so we can talk to you. And he walks outside the back door and they cuff him and they take him away. So that was pretty much it. Now, a few years later, number 1 gets out of jail and he's a fantastic musician, and he has some amazing connections. I can't mention what they are. So he was coming to Boston, and we were writing songs and working together. But I was very weary, and my girlfriend at the time would not allow him in the house. But here's what happened. I felt like he wasn't sober, and I felt like if I was accused of something that I didn't do, I would say to my friends, especially after I got out, Jason, I didn't do it. I swear to you, I didn't do it. Okay, I was wrongly accused. This is what I did not do it. But he never said that to me, never. So I had to end that. It was a great opportunity for me in the music business, but I had to end the relationship with him because I just didn't trust him, you know? Red flag, 2 red flags. The lack of sobriety after an experience like that blows my mind. Like I'd become a priest if I was in jail. My life would be so different, especially if I was guilty of something. I got to completely repent, and I'm not a religious person, but you got to get over that shit, and you got to change your life. And if you're not, if you're the same person you were beforehand, that's a red flag. And then also by not speaking about what happened is also like this elephant in the room that never went away. Anyway, so that's my story. I hope that was something for somebody. I'm going to put a link, you just look for Capturing the Friedmans. This is This is Poacher Analysis. I can't even speak anymore. This is Poacher Analysis channel. I'm putting it up here because my other channel, I don't want to do that. Hope you enjoyed this. My intention is to give you some information about a case that happened in the 80s. I don't think I left out anything. If I did, I will either post another video or leave some comments, all right? Like, share, subscribe. It's a new channel, so help me build it, okay? Thank you. I love you.